You're listening to This Is My Side Hustle. The tips, tools, and advice you need to optimize your life live here. If you're looking to unlock the secrets to additional income by engineering your choices around your ideal lifestyle, you're in the right place. Stay tuned and join us as we unpack unconventional ideas and methods to give you more freedom and flexibility. Let's escape the rat race together and live with intention. Let's learn how others are making it pay with their side hustles. Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 17 of This Is My Side Hustle. Today I'm going to be talking about getting started as a ghostwriter, and this is a little different than being a blogger. Obviously, if you're a blogger, you're usually writing under your own name. You have the upkeep of a blog. You have the expenses. You have to have some tech skills. You have to do SEO and images and marketing for that. But if you're a ghostwriter, you're just writing content for other people. You don't have to worry about images. You don't have to worry about SEO. They give you the instructions. They give you the background, and you do your research, and then you write articles or even entire books. So ghostwriting is one of the easiest ways to start a side hustle with virtually zero startup costs. There's really nothing you need to pay for ahead of time, as long as you are a decent writer and you kind of know what you're doing, or maybe have a background in a certain topic, or are just able to articulate your thoughts well with a written word. Then you can get started as a ghostwriter for no money at all, and you can work your way up from small articles that perhaps you write for other bloggers, or more scientific information for scientific journals, and then you can work your way up from there to writing entire books for people. Now, you probably know that even famous people hire ghostwriters to either completely write their own autobiography or memoirs, and sometimes they work with them. Obviously, they work with them. Sometimes they help them write it, but most of the time they're completely written by somebody else. And they're not always acknowledged. So if you feel like you need to take the credit, ghostwriting is probably not for you. If you want to make a name for yourself, this isn't a good side hustle. But it's a great side hustle for someone who just wants to get paid to write, doesn't really need to have their name on anything. And you can, like I said, start small and work up from there. So if you've ever dreamed about helping a famous actor or actress write their life story, if you're okay with not receiving acknowledgement for your work, if you enjoy research and are able to adapt to another person's style of writing or speaking, then this is definitely a side hustle you can do, and you can do it from anywhere in the world. You can do it from home, you can do it when you're traveling, and usually these things have some kind of a deadline, but you can decide when you're going to work on it. So if you work better in the morning, you can get up early and work on your ghostwriting projects then, or you can stay up late. Whatever you feel is the best time for you, that's when you can do it. So it's a super flexible way, zero income required to get started, a way to start a good side hustle going. So let's talk exactly about what ghostwriting is. Despite its name, ghostwriting is not about writing ghost stories. Ghostwriting is when you're writing for someone else as if you were that person. In other words, you will not be able to use your own information or get any acknowledgement for your writing because you were writing as if you were that person or company, especially in the case of websites and blogs. They will get credit for your literary work. So whether it's a book, an article, an essay, but you will receive the financial compensation for it. Okay? Your job as a ghostwriter is to take on the voice, style, and personality of the person or the business for whom you are doing the writing. Now, why would anyone hire a ghostwriter? The main reason anyone would hire a ghostwriter is time. Someone wishing to hire a ghostwriter does not have the time to actually write the literary piece, or they just don't perhaps have the way to put it into words well. And as you can see, I didn't put that into words well either. But other reasons are the individual or business might lack the writing talent or basic mechanics of writing, or they're too close to the topic to write about it without a skewed perspective, and the individual or business isn't certain which parts of the piece are important or worth mentioning. So, with that in mind, what are some of the challenges that come with ghostwriting? The main challenge of ghostwriting is to be able to adapt to the current style of the person or business to whom you are providing the service. So, questions to ask yourself before agreeing to ghostwrite for anyone or any business are: number one, what is the current literary style or voice of the author, celebrity, politician, or business needing the service? Number two, how will I be able to capture his or her way of speaking on paper? Number three, how passionate or knowledgeable is he or she on the topic? Number four, what are the goals or objectives for having this piece written? Number five, what are his or her beliefs and ethics regarding the topic? Number six, did I say six yet? I think this is six. How much value or worth is writing on this literary piece? Number seven, how long does this piece need to be? So how many words, how many pages? And finally, what is the final deadline for this project? So with those things in mind, those are things that you definitely want to ask somebody or a business before you get started so that you can get a good background of what's expected. And what skills do you need to get started as a ghostwriter? Obviously, you need good writing skills as far as grammar and spelling are concerned. You will also need to possess excellent interviewing and researching skills as you plan how to approach the topic and the direction or slant the piece needs to take. Many times, a ghostwriter is able to pick up ideas or details in an interview that would have been initially left out if the celebrity or individual or business was left to do the writing on his or her own. Now, you do not need to meet people in person. You can do an interview over the phone. You can do it over Zoom video conferencing or something like that. You definitely do not need to meet the people in person unless you're doing some kind of a piece on a tour of a property or something where you really would need to get there. But if you were doing something like that, more of a journalistic piece, you could include that in your charge, such as travel and things like that. So if you really wanted to make a big career out of that, you definitely could do that. Most of the time, though, most people are just doing it from home whenever they want. And what kinds of things can you write as a ghostwriter? Well, everyone has probably heard of celebrities wishing to publish their autobiographies and biographies or memoirs. You're not just limited to these. Many times an editor or an author will work with a ghostwriter as a third party brought in to do the initial writing or at least assist with it. Other pieces that you can ghostwrite on a variety of topics include nonfiction books of all types, fiction books of all types, ebooks on various topics, online and offline articles, blog comments or other opinionated pieces, blog articles to boost the SEO of a business. You can do downloadable booklets that people usually have as an opt-in for email addresses. So anyone who has a website needs content written, you can do that as well. How much can you earn as a ghostwriter? Well, it depends. So just like all freelance work, it will vary from client to client or from company to company. I've heard of ghostwriters making as little as $9 an hour to as much as $800,000 for a 300-page nonfiction book. So be prepared for that. It's basically how good are you? How much are you willing to put in? And the more you do, the better you're going to get. And you'll also probably get lots of referrals from people you've worked with before. It also depends on how much you put yourself out there, how much you market your services, where you market your services, how many platforms that you put yourself on that offer ghostwriting jobs. It's really up to you. So where can you find work as a ghostwriter? Some places to start, and one of the top ones I recommend to start out is at Textbroker. That's textbroker.com. Textbroker is always hiring article writers to write for clients on a wide variety of topics. Here you will be paid so much per article based on the numbers of words in the article. You can increase your star rating here over time and begin earning more per word once you gain a lot of experience. Now, the reason I really highly recommend getting started with Textbroker is anyone can get started and do it. I actually signed up as a writer for Textbroker. I wrote a few pieces for businesses, and then I realized ghostwriting really wasn't my cup of tea. But I made about $40 for a 500 word blog article. So it didn't take me that long. It maybe took me half an hour, and I got $40. I work with a website development and SEO company, and we order blogs for Textbrokers for a handful of clients that we work with. Some of the industries that we get blogs written for are outdoor power equipment, ATVs, so, like quads and things like that. What else do we do? Veterinary office supply company. We get blog articles written for them. An auto body repair shop. So basically any business that has a website and has a blog or has content on their website needs a ghostwriter if they're not willing to put in the time to do that. And I've not hired a ghostwriter for my blog, but I do accept article submissions that pay me to put stuff on my blog and guest posts and things like that. If I felt like I couldn't keep up with the workload and I wanted to hire someone else to do it, I would definitely do it. But Textbroker is a great place to get started and to check it out. The author we use from Textbroker gets paid around $45 per article, and he does 5 of them per week. And we give him a decent lead time as well. So, he's making a couple $100 every week for writing in his spare time. It's a good side hustle to have going on. And we always use the same guy for most of them. And he knows every week I'm going to have another 5 articles I order from him. And he's been doing it for so long that he's very familiar with the company, the tone of voice, what kind of information to include, what the company's goals are. And we kind of brief him on that ahead of time. Most companies or people will do that. But if they don't be afraid to ask more questions, such as the one I went over a few minutes ago. Okay, another place you can get started in ghostwriting is at BKA Content. So BKA Content is similar to Textbroker in many ways. You can sign up as a writer and then choose the articles you want to write. And like Textbrokers, these are completely ghostwritten articles, so you will not get the credit. Another place you can check out is Craigslist. Private clients can sometimes be found on Craigslist. I would recommend searching in some of the Craigslist sites for bigger cities and using freelance or freelance writer or freelance writing as the keywords. But be careful you don't get scammed. If anything feels fishy to you, don't contact the poster. You definitely want to ask for a deposit first if you're doing something like that, so you're at least getting some money up front. And make sure you put together, a portfolio of your articles or books or what have you as you go along. Keep adding them. You could do a Dropbox folder and just pop all your articles in there, and make sure you note where to link them to, or you could just create an ongoing list or a spreadsheet with links to all of your articles. Facebook groups, that's another place you can find ghostwriting jobs at. If you're not using Facebook for finding freelance or other work, you are missing out. There are so many Facebook groups for any kind of side hustle, especially any kind of freelance skills. Basically in every single industry, and they're always looking for people to help them out. So here are just a few that I'd like to mention for freelance writers looking for work. There's a Facebook group called Freelance Writing Jobs, and there's another Facebook group called Tools and Jobs for Freelance Writers and Bloggers. Another place you can check out for ghostwriting jobs is the Association of Ghostwriters. This and other industry-related websites that are geared more towards just ghostwriters are a great source for networking and finding clients. You can join for free and sign up as both a ghostwriter or a speaker. So if you want to get into speaking, you can do that as well. You also might want to check out local community organizations such as the Veterans of Foreign Wars, which is VFW, and American Legion, or any local historical society. They're often looking for ghostwriters, although many times as volunteers. So if you're just getting started and you want to start to build up your portfolio of writing, you can start as a volunteer and then move to paid. They help write war stories or help aging veterans write about their heroic deeds or battles, which is pretty cool. Sometimes they try to sell these works to publishers or just simply pass the stories down to their grandchildren, but it's a great service to offer if you're just getting started and you want to help out your community. Another place to check out is Contena. Lots of writing opportunities are at Contena, including opportunities for ghostwriters. Other freelance jobs are posted there. Many are high quality and well-paying. So once you've got some articles under your belt, maybe through Textbroker, definitely check out Contena. The reason I left this one for the end, though, is because it's not a free job board. You do have to have a membership to search for it, so I definitely think you should get a good stream of income coming in and some steady ghostwriting jobs before you bother with that. So how do you get started with ghostwriting? If you're like, okay, this sounds like a great idea, I've got a couple links to check out, I think I could definitely do this and I would enjoy it. If you've ever engaged in any kind of copywriting or resume writing or speech writing, or even have a website and you've created content for it, then you can start with that. Okay, you can definitely start with examples you've already done in your own life and transfer that into future clients. Now with Textbroker, that's a great way to get started because you don't have to pitch yourself to anyone really. You can just pick ones you want to write and go for it. But you can also start with things like Upwork. You can offer your services on any kind of freelance site. Just start getting some things under your belt and then move on from there. So that's about it. I really think ghostwriting is a fantastic side hustle for introverts, for people who are retired, for people who are still in college, anyone who wants to be able to work from anywhere in their spare time. In addition to a job, you don't have to quit your job and just say, okay, I'm going to make it as a writer. I definitely don't suggest doing that. But if you want a couple $100 to a couple $1,000 every month extra, it's not hard to get started in ghostwriting. There are so many apps out there too. If you feel like you can't sit down and type out the words, you can start talking and translate your speech to text. You can even do it through Google Docs. You can hit a little microphone and just start talking. You can record yourself and then transcribe it and polish it as you go along if you feel like you're better at talking rather than writing. And there's tools like Grammarly that you definitely should check out that will help you polish things up. It'll show you where your grammar is not quite correct. The free one has been great for me, but you can also get a paid one for more features. And I would probably recommend getting the paid one once you've gotten into the groove, started making some decent amount of income, because a tool like Grammarly can really save time. Now, there's certain things, when you're reviewing a piece you've written that your own eyes kind of skip over because your brain knows what you meant and you might not catch a spelling error or a grammar error. And I do that all the time. Grammarly does help with that. Sometimes I don't use it though. So I'm sure if you go to my blog, you'll find typos. In case you didn't know, Pinterest and Instagram are the best affiliate marketing tools and ways to drive traffic to your website. But did you also know that Tailwind is the only approved Pinterest scheduling tool? That's right, the only one. So Tailwind tracked their users, and here's what they found.
Tailwind users get 6.9 times more saves generated.
Tailwind users get 3.7 times more followers added.
And Tailwind users get 4.2 times more pins published.
PinFaster has the best times for engagement with Tailwind.
That's right. So visit makingitpaytostay.com/Tailwind and schedule all of your social media marketing posts on Tailwind and Instagram, where all of the younger people are hanging out. The good news is I've seen major publications that have typos in their articles, and it happens all the time, and most people nowadays are pretty forgiving, knowing that everyone's in a rush. Obviously, if you're writing a book, you don't want that to happen. A book that's going to print or an ebook, you really want to go over those with a fine-tooth comb over and over. But with the nature of the internet being as it is, with people lacking attention and pretty much scanning blog articles instead of really reading them, I think, you can get away with that a little more. So if you don't think that you're perfect or you screw up a few times at the beginning, don't quit. Just keep going. It's not the end of the world. Even the writer that we hire from Textbroker, sometimes he does a few typos, and I catch them when I'm putting them in the actual blog. So usually there's several eyes on it, and it doesn't really matter anyway because your name's not on it, which is fine. But the better you are, the more you can charge, the more likely you are to be recommended to others, and the more jobs that you will probably find. Well, guys, I'm not sure what I'm going to be talking about next podcast episode, because in a few days I'm heading out to Myrtle Beach with my daughter. She turned 11 last week, and she's never flown, so I said, okay, well, I will take you on a plane somewhere for a couple of days for your birthday. So that's what we're doing. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to record an episode while I'm with her. I'd probably prefer not to, unless I come up with something else. And if you want to be a guest on the show, let me know. I've had a couple people reach out. We couldn't really coordinate our schedules as of yet, so that's kind of rough. It's hard trying to coordinate schedules, especially in the summer when people are taking vacations or people are maybe doing different things with their kids. But if you want to be on the show, go to makingitpaytostay.com/voicemail. You can apply to be on the show there. There's a link that you can click on to apply. There's also a button you can push and leave me a voice message. So if you want to be on the show, or if you have tips for my listeners, I would love to have you just leave a tip or leave an opinion. So definitely go and check that out. And I will have the links to all of these different companies I mentioned today to get started as a ghostwriter in the show notes over at makingitpaytostay.com. You will just click on the heading that says podcast, and all of the podcasts are listed there. You can listen to the episode straight from the page. You can check out all the show notes there. And I think that's about it. So please don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm so thankful to all of you who do listen and take the time out of your day. And I wish you much success. Until next time, this is my side hustle.